Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Division Z podcast. My name is Jason.
And I am K Cosmic.
Today we are joined by guest.
Hello, I'm JokerAlex 21.
Hey, there we go. Today is episode 40 of the Division Z
40,
podcast.
the big 40. You know what 40 is?
Big 40. What's 40?
Double 20.
Double 20. And you know what? You know what else is 20 today? Our co-host, K Cosmic.
It feels like every other day.
You know what, man? Birthdays can feel like that sometimes, but big 2-0 for our boy K Cosmic. And you know what? It's no coincidence that today was episode 40 and he's half of 40.
No, we planned this. We planned this behind the scenes.
Totally planned. Just like the whole Ether storyline. It's all planned ahead of time, right?
All completely planned.
No, totally. But anyways, guys. So today's episode 40. We got a good bit of stuff to talk about today here, actually. And I think the first thing that I personally want to talk about first is, I'm sure everybody has seen it in the chat. I'm sure you guys who are here with on the podcast have seen it too. The new Call of Duty 2021 name and a little bit of the details have been sprinkled here and there for leaks. And the name of the game, supposedly for later this year, is Call of Duty World War II Vanguard, which, again, another mouthful name, like Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is kind of long, but we got used to that one, right? But what do you guys think? What do you think of all the new information coming out about the new Call of Duty game?
I would say this. Effectively, because Sledgehammer are making it, right, obviously that's one of the rumors. I presume it's Sledgehammer. I'd be amazed if it is like Raven and Sledgehammer, considering they fell out, right? But I mean, the fact that we're getting another World War II game, I guess it's nice to sort of change it up a little bit. I mean, we kind of have Modern Warfare and also Cold War.
Yeah.
So they're kind of taking a step backwards all the time at the moment. But yeah. This is meant to be an alternate history World War II game, though, isn't it? From what they've said.
They said that, but then another article came out saying that maybe it wasn't. I think people are just overall like. I think the one thing that's almost certain is that it's set in World War II. Like
it makes sense.
What do we think of the time period? Because I've seen a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's boring. I don't want to go back to World War II." And like I feel like people have this like feeling where like. The World War II setting's been so overdone, yet we've only had it in like one game in the past 10 years.
See, that's the thing. I was about to bring that up where, yes, World War II was, back, what was that, 2017? Yeah, 2017 when Call of War II came out. That was the first World War II dedicated game that we've had since World at War, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's funny to me that people are saying like, oh, World War II was so overdone, which... in the grand scheme of Call of Duty, you could make an argument for that, and I understand where they're coming from because the first Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, like you got a bunch of these titles that are set in the same time period. But I think if they can do a World War II game and make something different about it, I think it'd be really cool. I personally think this game should take place in the Pacific Theater because the last game took place, obviously, on the European front. So this needs to take place in the Pacific, and I want to see more of that because we didn't get that in the previous World War II game. So I think it'd be kind of cool, to be honest, if they do it right. I don't want a copy paste of World War II because it's Sledgehammer. So I hope they can bring something new to the table.
I kind of want them to do it like World at War again. See, World at War. Out of all the Call of Duty World War II games, World at War was this dark, gritty, kind of horrifying experience that really captured World War II properly. Whereas all the others have been, including actually 2017's World War II, while they've kind of captured World War II, they've been quite laid back, in my opinion, compared to World at War, which was really, really dark. So I want it to be like that.
I see pretty much every like past COD game in the past 10 years or so. Maybe not so much Modern Warfare because they tried to do a lot more of that, but it's kind of like an action movie, isn't it? And especially with World War II. I don't know if you guys remember, there was one campaign mission where the train went off the rails and it went on for way too long.
Yeah.
And it's like,
looked like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong. I went back to World War II today, right? Or not today, yesterday.
Oh,
even.
nice.
Sorry, I'm lying. Yeah, I went back. I went back to the Final Reich,
Oh.
right? Not multiplayer, but World War II setting. If they can make a zombie game kind of like that and just improve on all the stuff that they did before, more on the zombies end especially, the Final Reich, when you actually go to it, the map is so detailed. I was so surprised when I went back, looking around the map. I was just looking around the map.
Yeah.
And there's so much to actually look at. Like, I was just amazed, to be honest. I was like, I don't remember this being this, you know? Like, it's weird. I feel like in a way where, like, at the start, you didn't really appreciate it for what it was. Then you go back.
Right.
And it's like, wow, this looks really, like, I feel like I'm in this environment, you know? Whilst in other games, you kind of, I'm not saying kind of don't, but, like, you, maybe not so much so.
I can kind of see his point on that. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, see, that's the thing about COD World War II to me, where I personally didn't play any of the other DLCs for World War II just because I thought the Final Reich was a good map.
Yeah.
But definitely. the thing was, everything else that World War II put out just didn't seem super appealing to me. Just because I don't know, just maybe because I was so used to Treyarch zombies, and I guess you could say I was a bit of a Treyarch zombies elitist. To be like, oh, if it's not Treyarch, then it's probably bad, which, obviously I don't think that. But I don't know what it was. There's just something about it that I just didn't want to play in the other World War II maps. And I think the Final Reich, what that map and what that atmosphere did was they started off with something good. And then they just, I don't know, like seeing all the trailers and seeing all the gameplay that of other people from World War II, I just go, I don't know, that's kind of been done. I don't know.
I can see with World War II, having played all the zombie modes, and actually I played World War II and stuck it out all the way through, even though the tortured path was pretty torturous. But yeah, I can kind of see why people fell off of it. You see, it was always advertised as this really horror zombies experience, right? That's how we always got it at the beginning. It was going to be frightening.
Yeah.
It was going to be creepy. And the Final Reich, and to be fair, I guess Grossen's House actually captured that really well.
Grossen's House was good.
There was a lot of horror there. Each room you went in through the Final Reich as well, to me, felt darker and darker kind of as you got further in, right?
Yeah.
Whereas later on, most of the maps, while they still had their dark, kind of gritty feel, I guess, but it felt really toned back. Especially with, in my opinion, the Darkest Shore and, to be honest, the Shadow Throne. Both of those maps, especially Shadow Throne, actually, really took a step back on the horror point. I mean, it's there, but not a lot.
You all know something as well? I remember an interview where they even said, don't be expecting so much horror, be expecting more Indiana Jones type-esque vibes. They said that in an interview as well. That exactly. Probably not exactly. But they used them words. Yeah, they're like, don't expect so much horror. Now we're going to more, fun, adventure setting.
Well, it's like that when you get to the torture path and the frozen.
Yeah, when you get to the other parts, it's like...
Right, and things. It feels
You know what's funny to me about that is I feel like the whole Indiana Jones vibe to zombies, I know this is kind of off topic from World War II, but I feel like the Indiana Jones vibe would have really worked well with the Chaos storyline. Because the Chaos storyline is all about history. And that's why I personally think the Chaos storyline was snubbed. It was totally like, it stopped and it didn't have any room to grow. If Chaos was able to continue forward and have a fully developed story, it could have totally done Indiana Jones, the secret artifacts with the Sentinel artifacts, and then the history, and you delve into the mythology of not just Greek mythology from Ancient Evil, maybe Norse mythology, go to a different map, and maybe Japanese mythology, other things that could have been so cool to delve into, but it just wasn't there. And I don't know, just when you said that Indiana Jones thing, it made me think about Chaos, because if anything, I think Chaos would have been a really good area to have that Indiana Jones vibe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a shame because you think about all these games, right? Treyarch is the one story that is pretty much a continuation. You look at anything else, Exo Zombies, Infinite Warfare Zombies, World War II Zombies, everything else that's been made that could have continued had a cliffhanger.
I mean,
wasn't continued.
World War II, though, could potentially.
Yeah, That's one thing.
Potentially continue. I mean, it seems to me like Sledgehammer were continuing it originally for Black Ops Cold War when they had their way with the game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things in Cold War that scream Sledgehammer to me, especially on D Machine.
Agreed.
A hell of a lot. So I think, and also we got this note now that somebody found. I can't remember who it was, sorry, but on Outbreak, which actually links to the final right from World War II.
Oh.
And all the experimentation of zombies and things. So, to me, it screams, especially as all these COD games are linking together now, aren't they? So it screams that Sledgehammer are going to be linking World War II in some shape or form, or if they're doing a completely new story for their World War II reboot or whatever this is going to be, then I feel like they're going to link it somehow. They've got to.
And
I think where they can expand on it too is they can really utilize the dark ether more with this concept, because you can take the dark ether, a dimension that is outside of our own reality, outside of human interaction, where it's just a conglomerate of the evil and the ether and all of the, all of that dark energy and the zombies and all of the bosses, and you could even throw in the apothecans, and you can do all that kind of stuff. You can totally use the dark ether as a catalyst of this is where realities collide. And this is where everything gets all fucked up. It's like going inside of a black hole and zombies are there to me. That's what this vibe is kind of giving off, where you're going to combine the storylines. If you combine zombies, combine all the zombie storyline, you go inside that black hole, and because time gets all fucked up in a black hole, you can bend light. Might as well bend reality, and let's get everything together here.
It's interesting though, because like Treyarch in World War II, they've had their ancient evils, right? Kind of all the time. So with Treyarch, you've got the Shadow Man, the Apothecons, Monty, and the Keepers. And then with World War II, you had this like Egyptian sort of god dude. I don't know his actual name. You had this ancient evil, right? So I guess in some ways here, they could always link them together in the Dark Ether, and then I guess you could get a mixture of the both of them coming out on either side. This would work well. Also, like the Raven Lords that are really well known in World War II zombies, they could make a reappearance in some ways in Cold War for later on down the line, or the next game, whatever it is. They could really link this well, actually, if they think about this. Just take the time to make it work. Now, something like Infinite Warfare, we were going to see that come back, but definitely, I think World War II and Treyarch's current Dark Ether story, I think they'll link easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I think there's so much potential here, and they need to utilize it. They need to utilize this potential because they started it. I mean, Warzone is the first step to linking everything together, because I mean, you literally had the Cold War in-game events for Warzone. Woods was there, and you got just everything. You guys already know the drill. You got everything already kind of tying in together with the two storylines. So let's do it with zombies next. I think that'd be a great idea. I wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit here. I see some comments in my chat saying, if the new game has zombies, it needs to be like World at War zombies, no crazy tech shit, just gritty, dark, horrifying. Which I would like to have a dark and gritty experience. I would really like that. They just need to do it right. World War II started with that, and like we said, it just kind of fell off a cliff afterwards.
It feels like it kind of lost its personality kind of halfway through.
Yeah,
like it was all horror and all that, and then eventually it lost that because it wanted that more action, fun. Like, oh yeah, here we go, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that.
It tried to become Treyarch zombies.
Yeah, I guess you could say it like that. And I feel like with their game modes, I feel like the more unique your game mode can be, the better, because that's what's going to differentiate it. You comparing it to Treyarch, like Exo Zombies got absolutely hated on, right?
Yeah,
like a lot of people didn't like it. But one thing you can say is it's one of the most unique zombie modes because there's the exo suit. True. The never been done before, and it probably will never be done again.
Yeah.
But what I'm really wanting to see is all these other side game modes, kind of like how we were talking about. I wonder if they are all going to technically at some point be canon, even though they weren't originally. Like Chaos. Could Chaos potentially be canon, even if they don't continue it? Could they be like, oh yeah, well, this actually happened?
Yes,
because
I agree. I think it can be.
Probably.
In that universe, but what if Chaos is relevant in like the Modern Warfare universe, sort of, even though they're all it's kind of weird because like we know in Infinite Warfare, pretty much every past COD game. I know Modern Warfare 1, 2, 3 isn't connected to 2019 and the new story they're doing. At least I don't think so. But we know in that universe, they counted them as movies.
Yeah.
That's how they identified them. They identified all them games, like that and Extinction and all that, as movies.
So yeah, I definitely think it can be. You can definitely connect it.
Yeah.
Not as like, movies, or rather as normal stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather it's actually canon, not just something that isn't really relevant anymore. But I want something like that to happen because I feel like there's so many good game modes and stories that haven't continued because
they
haven't given it legs to grow.
Way too many.
Well, no, definitely, that's completely right as well.
The thing is, most of these devs, right, could actually get it right, I feel, the second time round. You got to understand, right, and a lot of community don't understand this. Treyarch had a bit of trouble at the start as well, and it took them time to like develop in certain places, but they did it really well. And then you got to look at this. Treyarch then had a bit of a problem with Black Ops 2, and there's no denying it, they did. But then all these other devs are suffering as a result of this because they've got to pick up from this extremely popular mode that's done really well overall, and they get one shot at it. Whereas Treyarch have had at that point, like for example with Exo Zombies, right? Treyarch have had 3 games to develop, zombies, right? Exo Zombies has had 1 chance, and it almost seemed a little rushed as well, considering there was no on-launch thing either. So
exactly.
It's kind of unfair to me that most of these devs only get 1 chance, and that's it. But Treyarch gets infinite chances. Feels wrong.
See, Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Okay. Because the thing is, I think it's because Treyarch, the beginning formula, all the way back in World at War, was, that's the seed. That was the seed that was planted to be like, okay, we start here and we know that this can be better, and then it just grows into this big beautiful tree, and now that big beautiful tree is what we know as zombies today. So they planted that seed, and at the time zombies were just like that side game mode, right? Even more so, I think back then zombies was treated as the just side game mode, and people just play Call of Duty for the campaigns and the multiplayer, back in those days. And that's why Treyarch has had the time kind of not in the background, but kind of in this weird limbo between the background and in the forefront, because you have so many people playing zombies, but at the same time, I think the culture around zombies was different. So it gave Treyarch that opportunity to really, like I said, kind of in the background, but not really in the background, develop it. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, people really like this. Oh my God. Zombies got crazy. Ooh, we got to imitate it, And then they kind of the other companies tried their own thing. At least that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. That they just had more time to do it because it was a Treyarch staple at the point. And then when the other studios caught on and Activision kind of caught on, they were like, oh, wait a minute, hang on, people like this.
Yeah, it's true. I think the only mode really out of all of the others that's really stood kind of on its own is Extinction.
Yeah,
There's nothing at all
that was very unique.
It's very unique on its own, and I think Extinction really should get another chance. I think it's
honestly, yes. I love Extinction. I found myself when Ghost was out, I would play Extinction constantly because I love the game mode. If they gave us a second chance, gave the game mode a second chance, and I don't mean Infinite Warfare DLC 4, because that wasn't a second chance. They ruined the story and multiple other things in that. And we don't talk about that. Yeah, exactly. That isn't canon to our universe for Extinction. If they gave it another chance, like in this current environment, I think people would really enjoy it, because I think in general the COD community, as great as it is, a lot of the time it does not know what it wants. It does not know what it wants, and then when we get what they want, it's like, I don't want this. You're seeing people, and this is why I find quite fascinating. You're seeing a lot of people being like, oh, another World War II game. I want a future game. And it's like, are you serious? Do you think they're going to do that again? They might, but they know that we don't like them now. Black Ops 3 was tolerated. Or Advanced Warfare was tolerated because it was the first one. Black Ops 3 was Treyarch. Infinite Warfare, one of the most disliked videos ever on YouTube.
I mean, the first one was really Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2 was the first time it went
true.
Realistic, but obviously without the jetpack stuff.
Without the jetpacks and stuff, yeah. So I guess people are really wanting, which I wouldn't mind as well, something like Black Ops 2 BO4. I don't mind being in the future. I don't even mind Exosuits games, to be quite honest with you now. Like, I quite enjoy them.
If they do it right.
But I wasn't one of them people that completely hated them. I don't think the style exactly fitted COD, but I was willing to play this because it was different. It wasn't the exact same game than past ones, because that's what we get pretty much. The exact same copy and paste. With, unique maps, guns, kill streaks. They can make it different with them factors, but...
See, because the thing is, with all the other people, all the other talks of... And I don't know, again, it's all leaks, so everyone please take this with a grain of salt. We don't actually know 100% if the next game is going to be this. But with people talking about how you could potentially have a alternate reality post World War II, what kind of experimental technology can be incorporated there? Maybe you have the MP40, but it's modded out in this crazy way to have like 3 barrels or something. I don't know. Just have fun with the weaponry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I think there could be a lot of potential to just have fun with it. You can have the same aesthetic and same style as World War II, but more experimental, kind of steampunkish. I think would be kind of an interesting vibe for a post World War II alternate reality. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
We kind of got that actually with another game series, Wolfenstein. If people know.
Oh, see, I haven't played any Wolfenstein games, but I heard they're good.
World War II, but the Nazis win.
Oh,
so it's a completely different look on World War II, right? So Sledgehammer could do the same here in some ways.
Interesting.
Could do something completely similar. Who knows?
I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind something where they go a bit different with the whole storyline. And the thing is, do you think with the way they're making the universe with Cold War, Modern Warfare, do you think they're going to want to make a game with an alternate storyline, so they have to fit it to cater to that story? Because
they probably
could. They haven't really. Have they defined it though? Have they? Well, with the Modern Warfare universe, has there been any continuity with World War II being a different outcome?
I think the main question here, when it comes to that, is the reason why it's going back in time this year is there needs to be a prologue to why the stories are coming together. That's what I'm thinking. Why are the Modern Warfare and Call of Duty Black Ops storylines coming together? What made that happen? And so where can you go? You can go back in time and connect it through a World War II context. And, this was Captain Price's ancestor, and he, did this over here, and he met this guy, and then it kickstarted, the Black Ops 1, whatever, right? And I think this could be their opportunity to give a lot of backstory as to why both of the universes are starting to blend in together now.
You see, they did that with Cold War, didn't they? Because, in the campaign, they have Zakhaev from Modern Warfare.
Right.
Inside Cold War, but much younger, obviously.
Yeah.
It's Modern Warfare. They could do that.
There's also something on Firebase Z that suggests that I think Woods or someone from Modern Warfare tried to kill Woods' dad. There's a whole thing. I seen it. I watched it. I
never heard about this.
I think maybe it was the Gaming Revolution actually, but there's intel on Firebase Z where you can connect it, and it's the last name of the guy who tried to kill Woods. I'm pretty sure it was actually not his dad, but it was I can't remember the name, but something Price. So it was you'd assume Captain Price because maybe not like Price we have now in the age now. The dad of Price, maybe we don't know, but
that's interesting.
They're connecting it. They're making little connections already, and we obviously we know that the Modern Warfare and Cold War is connected, so that technically means World at War's canon. So if they're going to make this World War II game, they have to. Who knows? Maybe it could be a continuation, perhaps, from World at War. They could do something with that whole story.
Yeah, maybe give Reznov a bit of a bigger role. I'd like to see that.
I mean, modify it. We'll see.
Yeah,
because they could physically change World War II if that's what they're apparently doing. They couldn't do that with World at
Oh,
War.
no.
I mean, the thing is too, with the storylines integrating, Kravchenko is literally in the zombie storyline now. Like, if you were to tell me a year ago that the campaigns of Call of Duty games would tie into Call of Duty Zombies and Kravchenko is a villain in the new storyline, I'd be like, what the fuck? I'd be like, how and why? But now that we've had all this get unveiled slowly but surely, it's like, oh, okay, this kind of makes sense now because they're trying to do stuff, They're trying to make it, how do I explain it? They're trying to make this very, hey, remember when this was separate? No, you don't. No. Like, no, you don't. This was always together the whole time, and this was the whole plan. Like, you know what I'm saying? We also got Magnum in the chat. What's up, dude? Thank you for the host on the stream. I appreciate that. But what do you guys think about just like what do you think about the zombie storyline? And who do we think we get to see in the zombie storyline next? We saw Kravchenko. Do we get to see Steiner? And do we get to see, all these other people from OG Black Ops and maybe even Modern Warfare? Do we see Makarov? Who knows?
I mein, with Steiner, possibly. The thing with Steiner, though, is if they're connecting it to the campaign, he's technically already dead. So...
But, like you can still see, I think flashbacks could be a thing, too.
Yeah, you could have flashbacks. Yeah. We've seen that in Die Maschine, right?
Exactly.
I mean, this is the thing with actually Die Maschine. I'm touching this on World War II's new game. Because we've currently been showing some, Nazi stuff on Die Maschine, but, in the past, right? And what the Nazis were doing. I'm wondering if, Sledgehammer might touch a bit more on that in their game, rather than straight up touching on it. Potentially.
Yeah, because they can flesh out that whole story.
Yeah, because they start off basically everything, right?
Yeah. So what if World War II, campaign and maybe a zombie side mode, what if it's the introduction to something like Die Maschine? Whereas, it shows us everything that happened here, all the story and stuff. And maybe what Treyarch and Activision were actually doing was the whole intro cutscene, everyone with the PPSH, all the old footage from back in that time. Maybe that's the game then, but they just haven't, we're not supposed to know that until they release it.
Maybe.
Then they release it, and then we get to that point, and it's like, wow, they've done a whole backstory to this new zombie story.
Yeah.
And that's instantly connected. And then who knows? Maybe when Modern Warfare 2 comes out, which it probably will, if we get a zombie mode in that, is that the zombie outbreak taken in the future, perhaps? In modern times, or do you think they'll just leave it for Modern Warfare?
I could see the zombie thing continuing to the modern day just because, at this point, I think the zombie storyline with Dark Ether, because you have Omega Group researching and you have so many shady things going on behind the scenes, it's almost a global conspiracy kind of a storyline now, where you have the two secret agencies of Requiem and Omega, and because you have this conspiracy of why the zombies are coming through the portals, and Omega Group is experimenting on old Nazi science projects, and there could definitely be some futuristic implications of well, the Soviet Union is gone, but where's Omega? Is Omega still here? Is Omega being funded by someone else, or is Omega their own entity in the background? What happens to Omega Group after the Soviet Union collapses? And I think that could be a really interesting point of, will Omega Group become its own separate entity, which I think it could be, which I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of potential, I think, overall. I mean, I could ramble on about it, but
yeah.
What were you saying? Sorry, I feel like I interrupted you.
What, me? What was I saying?
Could you start? Who started talking? Someone started talking.
I mean, I started talking with it. I was just agreeing with you how there's so many things they could do with it, and if they really wanted to, anything in the past, like games, even IW Zombies, if they really wanted to, I'm sure they could find some way to connect that in future games if they wanted to. And I bet this is the perfect chance for the studios that didn't get a second chance to get their second chance.
Biggest connection they can make is, and it's gonna sound kind of weird, but the biggest connection they can make from the Infinite Warfare storyline to what's going on now is Mephistopheles.
True.
Because it's a demon. He is a demon. And zombies are kind of demonic creatures anyways.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. There could be dark energy there.
With World War II zombies, maybe not World War II zombies, Cold War zombies, you guys might know better than me, but do we understand why the zombies are doing what they're doing? Is it 115? No.
Well, no, it's
115's gone now.
Yeah, it's not. Well, yeah, exactly.
That's the whole point of Requiem. Requiem's job is to find out what the fuck is going on and investigate Omega Group and why Omega Group is doing this and why all the zombies are starting up. So we'll find out eventually, in the storyline as the DLCs get released.
See, I'm still wondering if potentially in the Dark Ether right now we've got either a really mutated version of Monty, like trying to basically fight back after he was basically backstabbed, by Maxis
cool.
and then thrown in the Dark Ether. Mm-hmm. Because when you're in the Dark Ether, right, you mutate and you change into something else. He's been in there for God knows how long now.
True.
So he could change massively and then come back out. And we could see him at the end of Cold War, right? This could be the big reveal when Monty comes back, but as like a really horrifying new form. Now, it could be that, or it could be that Monty went to the Dark Ether, but then everything else did, and he got overthrown by something far worse than him. So we could see something worse than him coming along. I don't think we'll see the Shadow Man while on that topic here come back.
Yeah,
because
probably not.
Dead. Because he was inside the summoning key and that blew up. So I think he's gone. If we see him, I'll be amazed. I'd love to have an explanation of how he's still around.
Yeah, kind of like Palpatine when Rise of Skywalker. How is he still around?
Well, he's a clone, isn't he?
I mean, on that front,
I can go on a separate rant about that, man. That just makes me sad.
Yeah, but Star Wars is famous for this now, isn't it? If somebody dies,
quality writing.
Bring it back. I'm just waiting for Dooku's head to be put on a droid and just come back. Like, you thought you killed me?
Oh, dude.
It'll become like C-3PO, right, in Attack of the Clones.
That's great. I mean,
it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. I mean, they brought Darth Maul back. The guy got chopped in half, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
You find.
My chat is saying, "Don't get Jason started on Star Wars." Don't, man, don't. I mean, I love the original 6. Just the sequels, I'll just.
It's all right. I am totally with you on that front.
That's a whole other podcast.
Talking about that with we'll say bad writing, right? Where like, ooh, I'm not dead, things like that, like in Star Wars, but in many movies where someone who's clearly dead. Kind of comes back one way, right? Is there anything from story-wise, gameplay-wise from the past games, like World War II, that Sledgehammer made, obviously? Would you want them to bring anything kind of story-related from that back that isn't so much canon anymore? Like, how we had the big bad guy in that? What was his name? Dr. Stroud, was it? It was Stroud?
Stroud.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, Stroud.
Obviously, I don't really pay too much attention to the World War II story, but I played all the maps and stuff, and I had a good time doing it. Do we want some big implication with him being involved, do you think, in the future, even though he's clearly been eaten? We see him get ripped apart in the Shadow Throne. Do you think they could potentially do something like that?
Yeah.
Or would you want them to?
I think they could do it flashbacks. They can do past maps, but
flashbacks would be fine. But
I would hate if he's still alive.
No.
Yeah.
Because his head was literally ripped off his body and put on the giant Egyptian god thing. I mean, what, is he just going to be a floating head when he comes back in normal reality then?
Here's the thing.
We don't know.
It'll be like Maxis, he got his brain floating in the Maxis drone.
That or something.
Honestly, who knows for this next game? Maybe. Maybe that's the whole twist.
Look,
listen.
I'd be happy for them to bring back people that are still alive. So, for example, the World War II crew that are still alive. that actually are Raven Lords at the end. I'd actually love to see them come back and have a bit more explanation as to why they're Raven Lords and what they do as Raven Lords. Just develop on that. Don't bring back all these things that are long dead unless you want to do a flashback like D Machina with, the ghost things, right? That's fine. But if you bring them back in modern day reality, that's just pushing it, and it's really unnecessary in my view.
Yeah.
They should stay dead. There's no reason why they should come back, especially a guy who's had his head ripped off.
True.
Come back, right?
You know what's funny to me too? Speaking of characters that are dead, and then we'll move on to the other topic of the day. Speaking of characters that are dead, I know Primus and Ultimus, they're dead, right? I will continue to say this, but I think Primus and Ultimus should be operators in Cold War. I don't care that they're dead. I just want to play as them, because clearly who you play as does not matter at all in the story for Cold War. You can play as Samantha Maxis and save Samantha Maxis in the Firebase Z Easter egg.
Mm-hmm.
So it literally does not matter who you play as. It would just be for nostalgic purposes, because again, it doesn't matter who the operators are.
Yes.
Why not? Right? I mean, let's play it. Screw it.
I don't think operators. Treyarch don't really see them at all as canon because they don't have really any story implication.
Well, they're not really, are they?
Yeah, exactly. I think Treyarch is like, oh, you can take this as you want, but this doesn't correlate with the story.
You're telling me that First Class Performance, everyone, is not canon.
Yeah, and my chat is saying right here they probably won't have new voice lines, but yeah, I mean, we love all the old voice lines anyways. Yeah. We love hearing Dempsey. Oorah! We love hearing Nikolai getting drunk. We love all that kind of shit. Bring it back. Put some old lines in the maps. Let's go.
Don't just reuse the old lines. There's no reason to create new ones for the most part.
No, exactly.
That's like good nostalgia. That's good fan service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but it's not canon. It doesn't matter, so it's fine.
Bingo.
Yeah, exactly. So we get to enjoy playing as Primus again, and the storyline stuff doesn't matter. We don't have to get upset because the storyline doesn't make sense. We can enjoy it.
Yeah, it's more if they put them not as operators, but actually properly back into the story. That's when I have a problem because they're dead.
Yeah,
they should be. They should be dead.
Right.
Because here's my thing, right? Like obviously with Samantha coming out with the portal and stuff, she had all their stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Why do I feel like they're going to come back in some way, shape, or form? I feel like at DLC 4, there's going to be a massive twist where it's like Richtofen coming through the portal. And just be like, hello,
dude. What if Alex said it earlier in the show? What if DLC 4 is a 4-stage boss fight with demented and mutated versions of our original characters because they've been banished to the Dark Ether after Tag der Toten, and they're fucked up and demented, and they're working for whoever the dude pulling the strings is. And it's you got to kill our old characters again because they're demented, mutated. Maybe they become Ordas. Maybe they become something like that.
Victus, actually, because Victus are, in the Dark Ether, right?
Yeah.
They've been there for ages, so they could easily be some weird mutation.
That would be cool.
The thing is, they're definitely going to touch on something like Victus because
they have to.
They're still, they're still alive. They're still canon to this story we're having. It's not like anything in the Dark Ether isn't canon anymore because this clearly is. Originally, I felt that was gonna be the whole idea. Everything in the Dark Ether isn't canon, but actually, it is all canon. Because Victus and so forth are alive.
Right.
So I think worst case scenario, because I'd like to see them come back in some way. I'd like to see Victus because I feel like they didn't get really a fair run either as far as the story goes. They got a few maps and that was it. They kind of redeemed them in Tag. I'll be completely honest.
Because here's the thing. I think Victus could be a really interesting plot point because throughout their entire existence, they have been used as pawns. So from a storyline perspective, you could say because Victus has been used as pawns of Maxis and Richtofen during Black Ops 2, then they're called upon by the Primus and Ultimus crew to do their bidding at Tag der Toten. Fuck this. We're so tired of being everyone's play toy. And then their minds get all corrupted in the Dark Ether. We're tired of being everyone's, puppets. How do you like it? And then they get all fucked up and demented, and they making zombies chase after us in one of the new maps or something. I could totally see that happening.
Big brain moment, right? What if Victus are Dr. Monty?
Victus is Dr. Monty.
That would be good. Yeah.
What if they just mutate together and it's just like turns into Dr. Monty? How great would that be?
I'd love to hear Dr. Monty complain about ointment like Marlton.
Oh yeah, Marlton's voice lines are top notch. I think what they do, you know DLC 4? You know DLC 4? Just Marlton's. Marlton's running about the place. Every time you shoot a gun, something Marlton says.
No, I can't stand him.
All the textures Marlton everywhere. And not like the Tag Talk ones. I mean the BO2 version textures, just them everywhere.
Oh, There's only one crew that I can't stand more than Martin, and that's the Infinite Warfare crew. I actually mute them when I play that game. I can't stand them.
They're so kind of annoying, yeah.
Horrendous. I mean, Martin's annoying anyway, but they are far worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I love memeing on all the Infinite Warfare trailers because you get the best of the bad quotes. Like, I give like Challenge Shuffle, is this the Big Apple? And it's rotten to the core. It's funny. Like it's the worst writing. Don't get me wrong, the game is fun. The game is really.
The thing with Infinite Warfare though is it's kind of supposed to be cheesy.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, it's got that
idea they want to go with.
Right.
Particularly like running around a map with people going, "Ayo," just. Not for me. It's really annoying.
Dude, the day I hear an operator running around a zombies map going, "It's lit," I'm gonna be like, "Oh fuck!" Like, like if y'all in the zombies community complain already about how the operators and people have no personality, you know, with the target down, and not just that, wait till that happens and you get like, just some random dude in like a t-shirt and glasses going like, that was so lit, and it's like, okay.
We need Sergeant Foley from Modern Warfare 2 just constantly running around going, Ramirez. Like, Ramirez isn't in this game. Pick up that briefcase.
The thing is with Infinite Warfare as well, the whole way they tackled that story was, okay, so in this map they're going to be themed as like, these characters. Next map, completely different. Next map, completely. So it kind of alters the personality. I think it's quite. I know what they're trying to go for. They're trying to make the characters maybe not too repetitive, but in return, it feels like we're playing as completely different people, even though they have the same voice. I don't know. I always found that like playing as them, it's like, ugh, your lines are bad, and I don't care about you.
They go on mute. That's what happens to them.
Exactly. The only character from Infinite Warfare Zombies I like is Neil.
The robot thing.
But
the robot.
He's not a main character.
He's the only. Yes, he is. He's the only character I like from that game.
Yes, he is.
Weiler, he's kind of funny.
Do you mean the one on Spaceland, or do you mean?
Yeah, but he made his way back.
Beyond?
The robot thing.
Because he's very different on both maps. One of them, he just sort of goes around like, "Don't get in my way," or "Do this challenge," and then the other one, he's like part of the main Easter egg, isn't he?
Yeah, great character development. First of all, he was just this robot. Now,
Oh, God.
Now look at him.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh boy. Well, I think we should move on to the next topic of the day. So next topic of the day, our second topic, probably our last topic of the day too, because that one was so long, was I want to talk about the new content coming to Season 2 and what's kind of been going on with Cold War Season 2, where Treyarch's doing a lot of good stuff, and then they do stuff like they accidentally released the crossbow. Like you know what I'm saying? So there's definitely a lot of interesting things going on. I'm looking forward to the new Outbreak map that was teased. It's going to be Sanatorium, obviously. And then Fireteam is finally going to get Golova. Zombies guys got it first, so... And then what else? Mansion, new gunfight map. I love gunfight, so I'll probably play a lot of that in my downtime. Maybe even on stream, I don't know. But I'm more looking forward to just the zombie stuff, and
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking forward to Outbreak, a new Outbreak map. Do you think with Sanatorium being added to Outbreak, will we get a new objective?
We will. They've already teased like the blueprint of one of the new objectives. It's for Strauss or whatever his name is. You know,
Okay.
this guy who currently only has, I think he has one, doesn't he? Objective at the moment.
Yeah, he's
With
got the
the
rocket one.
Ethereum canisters, and that's it.
Yeah,
So
let me
he's
look
getting
real
another
quick.
one because everyone else has got two. It's just him that doesn't, so they're giving him another one.
Yeah, let me look at Treyarch's Twitter real quick because I think I remember seeing something like that.
Whilst you're doing that, you know what I'm very excited for? Being able to swim in zombies again. if they do that, I don't know. I don't know how zombies are. I don't know how they're gonna work. Obviously, they would have been like worked around or something. But picture this, right? Imagine there's like a secret little boss like in the water, right? It's just a giant like zombified shark or something. Imagine they just throw that in. I just felt that right now, right? Like they could totally do that because it's such an open world environment that I feel like with past games they couldn't really do that because the water there wasn't really like Voyage, sure, and then Zetsubo. Other maps didn't really play around with it too much.
Right.
I could totally see them doing something a bit on a bigger scale with that.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't get your hopes up, but they could do.
Maybe not. No, maybe not. But who knows? Maybe they could do something. I think personally that like
underwater.
Now, yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
Great.
Possibilities are endless.
I'll never go swimming ever again.
never again.
He's annoying enough on land.
I think the thing that I'm the most excited for is that season 2. It's going to be funny to say, right? Because we're getting all this content, I'm now excited that season 2 is ending because now we get to have more season 3 teasers starting to come soon because I want to see the new map. I mean, as much as I love D Machine and as much as I love Firebase C, I want to kind of start wrapping up season 2 a little bit because I want to see another new map. I don't know if that's just me being impatient or is that just because I like Cold War so much I want to see more.
Probably both.
What?
Yeah, you know what? I probably to be honest.
Firebase C came out in February, right?
Of season 1 it came out. Firebase C.
Yeah, February like 3rd or 4th.
4th, yeah. So by the time
we're getting the Easter egg though for Outbreak first, aren't we? Before.
Oh yeah, true actually.
So
actually, that's exciting as well.
Start of season 3.
Yeah.
That. I don't know if we're getting a new map with that, like for Outbreak again or not. We might.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, they might
transit. I don't know.
Oh, who knows? Because they could add that into Outbreak because people are saying how good that would be. If they were gonna add transit in, I feel like it'd be later on, maybe.
Probably.
I don't know to kind of get. Like, you know, like if like on the game's downtime, perhaps if zombies isn't really coming into World War II or whatever they call it, World War II Vanguard. I'm never going to get used to saying that name. I'm just going to call it World War II. But
World War
maybe
II,
when that game's down, yes, World War II 2. Maybe when that game's downtime, they'll add in transit and things like that into Cold War to kind of give that game a bit more life because they're wanting to support all the games.
Zombies Chronicles 2 and Cold War.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, they still have to bring back those maps at some point, don't they? They've done all the rest of their catalogue. There's no way that they're not going to do Transit, Die Rise, and Buried, despite how much I think Die Rise is going to be an iffy one if they just do it as a survival map. But we'll see.
We have Fat Matt in the chat saying happy birthday, bro. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that.
Hey, let's go.
I was saying earlier on, I've been getting more happy birthdays from like the YouTube community and zombie community than I have in real life, so I appreciate it.
Well, you know what? Because the zombies community's got your back.
Hell yeah,
got your back. So yeah, it's it'll be really interesting to see the next year of not just zombies, I think, but I think the next year of just Call of Duty, because you have people who are understandably upset about, skill-based matchmaking and the direction that's going. And then you have zombies that's kind of, I don't want to say carrying the game mode, but it's definitely a bigger presence this year than last year. So last Treyarch game. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see if, how they innovate and what they're going to put to the forefront. If they're going to put zombies in the forefront now, because more and more every day people are starting to turn their backs on multiplayer.
Yeah.
Or, what's going to be happening there? Will they focus more on campaign and storytelling? There's a lot to be seen. And
I mean, it sounds like they already are, though, because we've got that rumored zombies-only game, right?
Right.
And if that is true, then it almost seems like zombies is just going to be completely gone from normal Call of Duty forevermore. I'll be amazed if they keep it.
I guess you're right, Phil, because if they make a standalone zombies game,
everything will go there.
Because don't get me wrong, they might make it so that by purchasing current CODs, you'll get, I don't know, that season of games maps on the current one. I think they might do something like that, because at the end of the day, if Activision do that, you buy this game, you get all these maps for free. They'll make a lot of money then. But then, myself, let's say they made a zombie game where all the zombie maps from here on out are going in that game. I am most likely never buying a COD game again. If I'm being completely blunt. Don't get me wrong, multiplayer and campaign are fun, but I'm mostly here for the zombies, and I never really play multiplayer. So, yeah, I'd probably just stick with that game. So I could see Activision definitely being like, okay, you want to play these maps in this game? Either buy our new game or something like that.
It'd be interesting to see if they do something with the old zombies, though, because remember, we still got maps. Granted, they were remade, but we've got actual old maps that were never remastered, like Mob of the Dead, for example.
Right.
Obviously, we got Blood, right?
Yeah.
But with this zombies-only game, this is their chance to actually redeem themselves here and put the original Mob, for example, on that game, but with a modern-day style, like Cold War. See, they could redeem themselves here, and they could even put the stuff from Black Ops 4 on this engine for Cold War, right? So they're actually kind of fun. So yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, like, because that's the thing with BO4. We talk about BO4 a lot in this podcast, and like, when you look at the maps individually, a lot of them have really good like design and features, and like the overall, just looking around the maps as well. Like, sure, the graphics aren't great, but the amount of detail they put into these maps are actually quite a lot.
Ancient Evil is great.
Yeah, it is there. I would say with BO4, it's a chaos game to me, not an ether game. The ether side of it to me was a bit of a failure, in all honesty. I really consider it a bit of a failure. Other than maybe Classified, I thought they did a good job on. The others, I mean, Alpha and Omega is what, Nuketown, so I guess you're going to improve on that anyway. But like Chaos is the one that stood out to me in that game because it was all new. It was very detailed. Like each map of Chaos is really detailed. I mean, the evil ones are too, but they're remakes, right?
Yeah,
they stand out because of that, in my view.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the remakes, I think Tagged or Toten is also a great remake. I think
I like
they added a lot of really cool features with the Heat Pack and Golden Pack-a-Punch, and just the tiny little things. I think Golden Pack-a-Punch should have been in every single Black Ops 4 map, and I'm surprised it isn't. There has to be some sort of separate side quest for it, and there has to be some separate circumstances like there are on Tagged or Toten. But maybe because they did Golden Pack-a-Punch on Tagged or Toten because of the final map, and it's like, all right, here you go. Because they know, I think Treyarch themselves know how much of a pain in the ass Pack-a-Punch is.
The other maps, though.
Definitely.
I know why they probably didn't, but they could have done.
Yeah.
You know what would have been cool? Imagine in Mob, right? Or Blood, I should say now, right? Golden Gate Bridge. Like, you can't, I don't know when they'd add it in or whatever, right? But let's say they add it in with tag and stuff. Like, oh, there's Golden Pack-a-Punch. Maybe it's an Easter egg reward or something. Oh, you can put a Golden Pack-a-Punch now on all your old maps and stuff. Let's say in Blood, for example, you could go to Golden Gate Bridge and get Golden Pack-a-Punch. And there'd be some sort of story correlating to you getting back. I don't know how, because obviously we don't use Afterlife in this game and stuff. Probably just be a teleporter. But how cool would that be? Shield.
Blast yourself with the shield.
I hate that stupid shield. I never want to see it again, practically.
Honestly,
it's horrible.
If it killed faster, it would have been okay. But nah, it's just not there.
It's too overused.
I could have just seen them I think the shield is awful, first of all, right? They could have just made a completely new item to deal with Afterlife. Like, in multiplayer, obviously, we have what's his name? You know, the guy who can see through walls and stuff. You know how he has his headgear.
Right, Recon. Yeah.
Recon. Yeah. They could incorporate something like maybe a Brutus helmet. You know, some afterlife stuff. You know, you put that on or whatever. You use it. It charges up. You use it, and then you can see or whatever. I don't know.
I can see that.
The thing with Mob, though, right? Let's just compare the two quickly here. With Mob, when you went into Afterlife, you were a ghost. Zombies ignored you. You could do what you want and look at the cool world in that ghostly form. Whereas Blood here, I've got nothing against, you know, looking in the ghost world. I think that's really cool. I love that. But you have to put your key in the shield every time. Be extra slow because of this.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried doing this constantly while you're being attacked by zombies? It just
it kills
the mechanic is there, but it doesn't work well. The flow is dead, and it's horrible. It's annoying. I mean, especially that seagull thing, like I was saying earlier, looking for the bloody seagull. That stupid
One
thing.
of the most annoying steps.
Going like this, like every 2 seconds.
I kind of want to rant about that step for a second, right? They could just fix that step by making it. Well, first of all, just not adding it in. They could make that step so much more enjoyable by making it so you could do all that seagull stuff in one round. If you could go round and do it all in one round, it'd be annoying still, but I'd enjoy it a lot more.
What, rather than 4 times?
Yeah, because then you have to go for 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they added
carrying a book.
Yeah, they added that in because they wanted it to be more challenging, I'm guessing. Same with the whole Warden's house. Oh, you can actually only get through that with Brutus after round 17 unless you know about the monkey bomb.
That was just...
Look, out of all the Ether maps that exist, even Transit, I still don't like it a lot. But Blood actually is more of a crime to me than any other. I really have a lot against Blood. Mainly because I'm a mob lover, right? It just does so many bad things.
Blood of the Dead is one of those maps to me where if you don't do the Easter egg, it's fine. That's my thing. If you don't do the Easter egg and you can just chill and survive, get the magma gat, you know, just have a fun time and just kind of play the game without going for high rounds. I like on Blood of the Dead, to be honest. It's just if you don't do the Easter egg, then I think you're fine because Blood of the Dead's Easter egg is bad. You know, that's my overall opinion about the map. Where
I can kind of agree on that front, but again, it's just even the mechanics themselves still certain new ones not a fan of. There's certain new stuff on Blood I do love, like the catwalk. I think is a really awesome idea, and it really fits with the theme of Alcatraz. And I'm just so sad that they only used that once in the entire map. Why not use it more? Why not every time you go through the catwalk have some kind of feeling a bit rushed each time rather than it just being the one.
Put a lot of effort into that. Like that one sequence. Because they're like, oh, the players are gonna love this. And the first time we did it and we actually got through it live, you can see Brutus with there standing, the hellhounds around him. That was
crazy.
It's like you're like, oh my god. And then it's like, that's never going to happen again in this game. It's like, oh.
That's the shame. I feel, to be honest, Blood, to me, it feels rushed in so many ways. And I get why it exists because everyone wanted Mob back, right? They were going to do Blood, but I feel like Blood, when they made all the launch maps, kind of took the back bench. But for the most part, I can see all the ideas they had there for Blood. Even with the main Easter egg, I can see it all there, but they just didn't really give it enough time. I think that Easter egg could have been great if they had just given it more time. Hell, explain why the ghosts are doing what they're doing. Explain why the red orbs exist. Explain these things. It would have been great, but they just didn't do it.
And then you had that whole controversy of them changing the steps, too.
Oh, I remember that.
So the entire timeline of the Blood of the Dead Easter egg is just a mess. So, it's unfortunate. It's definitely one of the tragedies of Call of Duty Zombies is the Blood of the Dead Easter egg, in both execution and in the storyline because Rip Richtofen.
Right.
So,
that's the one thing they did right.
That's such a cool cutscene. That is such a cool cutscene.
It's too bad we have to do.
Right.
Yeah, because they really focus on the story. It's just too bad we have to do that whole goddamn awful Easter egg to get to that amazing cutscene. It's a shame.
Because the ending of the boss fight blew my mind the first time I saw it. It was like, whoa, post-Revelations Richtof. And he's like, yo, I'm here, and I'm going to cleanse the land with the crystal. It's like, oh, that's so cool. And then the story, and then you remember that, oh, shit, we did a really bad Easter egg.
That's why with BO4, I always wanted it so that when you completed the Easter egg once, you could just go straight to the boss fights every other time.
Oh, that'd have been great.
Like, that's what I always wanted. I don't know why they couldn't have done that. Because the problem with the BO4 Easter eggs as well is they're so bloody long. You know,
yes.
if you look at all the other Easter eggs that exist out there, BO4s are by far most of them, not all of them. Like Alpha Omegas is pretty quick and so on, but most of them are super long. Look at Ancient Evil, that takes a long time. Look at Blood of the Dead, that takes bloody forever. Like, literally, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
you could have done that. It would have been great.
That's the last thing I'll talk about real quick, and then we'll wrap things up. Here is the Alpha Omega Easter egg. I did that it was like on launch or the day after launch. That was such a quick Easter egg, and I felt so relieved that I could do the Easter egg really quickly on Alpha Omega and just get it out of the way. Because, you know I like Alpha Omega more than other people in the community do. I know Cosmic, you think Alpha Omega is like the worst map of all time.
Really?
But
yes,
I don't mind it as much as other people do because I like the ray guns and I like Nuketown. So, I don't know. It's just one of those maps that really clicked with me at the beginning of the game, and I was like, yeah, I could do this quickly, and that's cool.
Yeah, it's the same with Tag actually. Tag's Easter egg is very quick to do, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they just learned their lesson at the point of Ancient Evil and went, people don't like long Easter eggs anymore.
And
kind of have to agree.
And we see that now with Cold War.
Well, I think now. Yeah.
I think we can all agree there's not a worse feeling than getting like halfway through Easter eggs, taking you a few hours to get there. You go down, and then you're just like, wow.
Yeah.
I've spent 2 hours on my day on this. I can't go out now. It's too late. I don't want to do this again because in 3 hours when I finish it, I'm going to be tired. I guess I just won't play. I guess I've just wasted my, you know?
That's how I felt about Revelations Easter egg. The first time doing the Revelations Easter egg, I was like, I was so frustrated and just doing the whole music disc, not the music disc,
everything
over that. What is it? The film reel. Oh my god, I couldn't think of the word. Like doing the film reels, like the keeper doing his little thing.
The bloody rock step. Yeah,
I hated that so much. And then
I
would accidentally back up into the launch pad, and then I'm gonna fail the step. So.
I would say that Grog Crovies was even worse for that.
Yeah, I don't like
I agree.
Easter egg.
That map actually gives me a stress attack every time I do that. Legit.
Same, dude. Like
the
escort steps. The escort steps suck.
Here's my argument, right? You know, Go Rod, right? That Easter egg and Blood's Easter egg are so similar in terms of like the way steps and that kind of work. In my opinion, like.
The thing is, though, with Gorod, I actually appreciate how hard it is because Black Ops 3, right, it had a lot of reasonable Easter eggs. Gorod is like the one that stands out as difficult. I like challenges in zombies, and I like that. And it puts you on edge. And actually, in my opinion, it makes you a better zombies player.
True.
Easter egg, because you are always on edge. You have to be careful.
As annoying as it is, yeah.
It will help you, I promise, in the long run. Actually... That's the one Easter egg that I can kind of deal with being hard. Whereas with Blood, like you were saying, they were similar. I get what you mean, but Blood's is just difficult because it's really
annoying.
Most of the steps are annoying. They're not even difficult because they're designed to be difficult. They're just stupid.
It's like you're made to escort. Like the escort steps are like tolerable.
It's tolerable when a ghost gets stuck.
The thing is as well. It's like I feel like Go Road as a map was made with the Easter egg in mind. Blood is mob, right? So a lot of the things they do in that, they didn't develop the map in mind. So escort steps, there's a bunch of tight corridors. It's like, oh my god, how am I supposed to do this? It's not like I'm on like a slightly open area, like maybe I would be in Gorod.
This is that one ghost that can get hurt by you, and that's horrendous. Yeah. It's the one when you escort him through like old mobs.
So I can't.
And if you use your special weapon to get out of trouble, and he kills him, you're like, great. Thanks.
So you literally can't use anything except like an AR that don't do anything in Black Ops 4
Use
because
a
they're
monkey bomb and hope it doesn't blow him up.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Literally.
Crazy.
I think to kind of end off that whole discussion, Blood is an awful map. Bad Easter egg.
I agree.
It's good for high rounds. It's not too bad, but overall, not that great.
Blood of the Dead is I think Blood of the Dead is underrated because of the fact that it's good for high rounds, but because all people think about when they talk about Blood of the Dead is how bad the Easter egg is. So that's why I think Blood of the Dead is underrated, but definitely agree with the whole Easter egg thing is pretty bad. It's same thing with like Voyage's Easter egg, and that's just let's just shoot the planets and I don't know, that's just such a random Easter egg to me.
I did like Voyage's boss fight though.
Yeah, that was cool.
It taught you how to it went in stages, right, and taught you how to actually do the boss fight. I like that. It was really good design, really good game design there.
It was funny too. One last thing, the Garage Easter egg. I beat the Easter egg twice. I've only done Garage Easter egg twice in my entire life. Nothing to show for it. You know why?
It didn't work.
The crash.
Because the crashes and the blue screens. So I don't have the gate worm. I've done it twice. I don't have the gate worm. I have nothing to show for it, and I'm so mad.
In with the RK5?
No. No, because also I actually haven't completed Shadows. I've been close. I've been close so many times, but I just haven't completed Shadows. I don't know what it is. I just fuck it up.
What's happened to you?
Dude, I don't know.
That isn't tragic. Please don't tell me you completed Voyage as well.
No, I didn't complete Voyage.
Oh, well, there we go.
No, I did not do Voyage.
Factor here.
So, oh man. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be wrapping up right there. Easter eggs are crazy. Black Ops 4 Easter eggs are especially crazy, and Garage Grove's Easter egg is overrated. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for watching episode 40 of the Division Z podcast. Alex and Cosmic, do you guys have anything you'd like to say before we wrap things up?
I'll let Cosmic go first. He is the co-host.
Sure thing. Just a thank you to Alex for coming on. You're a great guest, and we'll have to get you on in the future. And yeah, thank you for coming on. You've been great.
Yeah, no problem. It was great to be here, actually. It's always nice to jump on these sort of podcast things. So thank you for inviting me on. And I had a good chance to talk about blood and rant a little bit.
There we go. There we go. That's what it's all about.
Always feels good to vent about blood.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh man. Well, once again, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, check out our Division Z Twitter. It is linked down below this version when it becomes a YouTube video, and also check out our merch, also linked down in the description of this video as well. So once again, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, depending where you are in this crazy world. This has been Jason, Cosmic, and JokerAlex, and we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Bye, everyone.